Hello again everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're back at Manchester Airport again. It's been a little while actually, using the Macco simulations Manchester Airport scenery. And today we're checking out a couple of updates, changes, improvements to the Manchester Airport scenery that loads of us really enjoy. And there's an update coming for it very soon, and we've got a pre-release build for that. And as you probably already guessed, there's custom jetways and all sorts to enjoy with this update coming soon. Hello to all of you in the live chat. Aviation Simulation, hello. Malpensa is the answer to your question. Hazza, Thomas, channel members, hello to you. Doctor on board, welcome. Violin Koala, hello. I think you're on the ground somewhere as well. And yeah, Doctor on board, yeah. It's very difficult just trying to get even a slot with Manchester as to be ATC controller, because it's always covered and manned. But it's always good to fly out of because it's always got traffic and usually got a controller of some sort, which is great for us. Ollie, hello to you. David, hello, I hope you're well. And Kai, wow, landing from into Perth from London Gatwick. Good grief, that's a long one. Emilu, hello. Tom C, Ethan's Aviation, hello to you. And Matthew T as well, and Paul, other channel members too, hello to you guys. Yeah, can't believe this is $9.99, and it is incredible, isn't it? Let's zoom out a little bit. As you can see, we're in Fly UK colours today. Skyway 772 is our call sign. So we've got new custom taxiways and things that have gone in place as well as all the custom jetties, air bridges. What have we got over here? There we are, we can see some more custom jetties there as well. Loads of new custom taxiways, which is really cool. Daniel Upstone, hello to you, welcome. And oh, there's a Wizz Air over there, let's have a quick look. Haven't yet got any clearance. Look at that. Improved glass textures, and this is coming soon as well. Little interior, so we can look out the window and watch all the stuff going on as well. Daniel, yes, as William said there. Hello to William as well, by the way. And Captain Reese, it's in our Discord server. There's a link with a bot, and it takes you to the Google Drive, and you can download the frequent flyer liveries for the A320, the Cessna Caravan, the Just Flight PA28, and the CRJ. So we've got 4 channel deliveries that we can make use of. But what do you guys think of the Manchester Airport updates so far? Still a work in progress, of course. So I mean, this is a pre-release build, so there might be issues with it, like this little external area here. But it's all going to be improved and updated before it gets released, of course. I think it looks mega, really good. Reese is around about 2 and a bit hours. There's an old Fly UK livery there. Not quite sure why the model matching does that. And it's nice to see Manchester ticking along, fairly busy. There's Terminal 2 and the extension over on the far corner, and the bus station as well, or the coach park. So amazing, £9.99, and it gets you all of this cool stuff. So if you want to get your hands on it, have a little look at our description for today's stream, and it will get you a direct link to the product page for this Macco Simulations Manchester Airport. So here we are at stand 25, just to show you as well, for those of you who might not have seen it before. You could get the hotel, the Radisson Blu at the airport as well, a little bit of external stuff going on too, a couple of control posts and the walkway. Over time eventually there'll be a train track and the train station going in over there in that corner, so loads of updates to look forward to, of course. Jet 2's just departing on the runway. So here we go. Redone all our custom views as well. Delivery just went offline. Always the case. But we've got ground 12185. So flick over, and we've got tower 118625. Get those ready. Does it have the airport pub? Yes, and we will see it as we taxi towards the runway, which will be quite cool. Toga control, hello. Yeah, no problem. Tried to get it working, didn't we? Where are we? We're stand 25. And we want a bit on a piece of paper for squawk code. And Samba. What are we saying for the ATIS then? Information echo. QNH 1020. No, 1029. Lovely. Surface wind 340 at 6 knots, so considerable crosswind for us. All good. Daniel, awesome. Are you joining us as well then for the flight? Let's have a little look at some of these views then. Let's bleed the APU as well. We can come off external power. Manchester ground, hello, Skyways 772, radio check.
772, Manchester ground, readability 5.
Readability 5 also, thank you. So, our route today, let me show you guys, that's a point, let's get Volanta up. It's one of those tools that I keep forgetting to use.
Ground?
Macco for the win. Exactly. Yeah, some of the best simulator sceneries.
Flight 190.
Full stop.
So for each one, your cruising flight level will have to be flight 190 to London.
Here we go. There's our route today on Volanta. So departing out of Manchester on the Samba 1 Romeo departure, runway 23 right. Heading towards Northwich and then turning south towards Samba, which is at Samba town. Over Stoke-on-Trent and over Birmingham as well. Macco Simulations has made some Birmingham Airport scenery too, which is really good. If you're new to the sim and you're not quite sure what scenery to get, highly recommend both. Turning at Honolly, all the way down over Luton Airport, over the Thames estuary towards Dover. Then we're heading over France. Touching Switzerland very briefly as we turn south of Zurich, and then heading south into Milan Malpensa. So a nice little route today. I've not actually flown to Milan in the sim yet, so a new route for me today. Always exciting.
Manchester ground, hello, this is...
Let's get our clearance.
136, request IFR clearance to Dublin.
Once there's a gap.
Whiskey 136 Manchester ground, having your flight plan right now. Can you try and refile, please?
Oh yeah, I'll do that now. Thank you.
And Manchester ground, Skyways 772, Airbus A320 at stand 25 with information echo, request IFR clearance to Milan Malpensa.
Go 772 Manchester ground, cleared to Milano via the Samba 1 Romeo departure on 23 right, squawk 4756.
Cleared to Milan via the Samba 1 Romeo departure, runway 23 right, squawk 4756, Skyways 772.
Squawk 4756. Go 772 negative, squawk 4752.
Was that squawk 4753, Skyways 772? You're breaking it at last.
Negative, squawk 4752.
4752, Skyways 772.
772, back right.
Got there in the end. Kept breaking on the last one though. Unless it was me.
Stand 26, request for start. Echo, requesting clearance to Milan Malpensa.
Carnage.
Spring 528, Manchester ground cleared to Milano via the
Is that an
Samba 1
Osprey?
Romeo departure.
Is that channel
right,
community call sign?
squawk 7325.
Cleared to Milano via the Samba 1 Romeo departure, runway 23 right, squawk
Paulie, why do I prefer Volanta? It's just simple.
528, back correct.
Pilot Oliver, no, I don't play on Ultra, mostly between medium and high actually, and not too many issues. Do you know if they're planning to do another airport? Captain Baldy's asking, and hello to you by the way. Yes, but I can't tell you what it is. I know what it is, it's going to be awesome, but I can't say what he's going to be doing yet. I had a discussion with him the other day actually. So I know he is making another airport soon, once Birmingham is almost done.
321, stand 5,
And then he'll start something else, but it's something that nobody will guess. And I didn't guess initially either. David A, hello to you. I had a lot of issues with SimToolkit Pro, somebody was asking, and I actually gave up using it back in October, and I've not touched it since. Volanta's good, it just works. I don't get too many performance issues from it.
Message around, very good afternoon to you, Ryanair 6824, stand 15,
I use is, I pretty much just...
with information echo, 1029 request IFR to Milan.
I only really use Navigraph.
624 Manchester Strand cleared to Milano via the Sanford 1 Romeo.
But I have Volanta in the background.
Score 70.
So there's our ground charts. We'll expect pushback and then
Sanford 1 Romeo departures,
probably taxi via Lima, Papa, Bravo, Kilo Juliet, and then hold either at Mike or at Juliet where the pub is. But probably Mike. We've planned for a departure at Mike as well.
Alpha Whiskey 136, request IFR clearance to Dublin.
So, off blocks, kind of now actually, 12, 12,
Whiskey
Zulu.
136, Manchester ground.
That works.
Roger.
Daniel's just spawning in. Awesome. Kai, it's not London Stansted. I think another developer's doing that actually, from memory. So, let's make sure we've got everything ready to go. CVAT signs are on, let's come off external power with APU bleed and stuff on. Lights as required. And evac and things on. IRS is good, fuel pumps are on. Seatbelt signs are on. No smoking signs are on. Auto. High standby compass is on. Standby instruments, QNH 1029. Let's just double check the ATIS because it has changed. Yep, that's all set. Information Foxtrot now, as Doctor on board said a minute ago, and it matches up the top. Initial climb 5000 on the Samba 1 Romeo departure, and we've done our refueling a bit. Let's get rid of our doors. Custom jetways.
Whiskey 136 Manchester ground. You filed a SID 405 runway, so I'm going to send you a little reroute via text.
And I've redone all my
Alright,
custom
thank you.
views. Yeah, great jetties, aviation simulation. Paul, you love your cargo ops, don't you? But yeah, Navigraph is expensive. Thomas, you're saying that you want them to develop ChartFox integration to A32NX. One of the things that they are working on, so of course Navigraph is coming to the EFB, as some of you may have seen on a video that I released a few days ago. And one thing that they are keen to do is support freeware stuff as well. So whilst Navigraph is pushing forwards and helping the team a lot more than any other of the free options, it is coming soon. And it is something they want to work on. So don't be disheartened if you're seeing Navigraph integration coming to the EFB. Eventually there'll be a free option too. Let's go. Skytrack, I've started that because it's a Fly UK flight.
Point Juliet 1 right 2 free right via Golf and
Lovely.
Juliet.
Yeah, let's rock and roll. We'll check out the pub on the way as well when we get a bit closer to the runway. Thomas, yeah, give it a go. They've got loads of documents to help you get started on their GitHub, on a contributor page. Skyway 772, stand 25, request push and start.
Skyway 772, stand 25, push and start through face east.
Push start approved, face east, Skyway 772.
Skyway
We've called
75
Tug.
Papa Bravo, request
Push
push
back.
and start.
Green.
75 Papa Bravo, stand
Power
8,
2
push
to
and start
FADEX.
through face down.
Engine 2 start. I think I've left the tug behind. Yes.
Can you repeat the direction, please?
It's still moving. I don't know what's going on there.
Facing south,
Oh, well.
Skyway, correction, hold on. Skyway 75 Papa Bravo, face south.
Could help if I put the beacon on as well. new sounds. There's our frequent flyer livery for those of you who want to fly along as Osprey.
Speedbird 51 Charlie Gate 29 information Foxtrot. 5820 LTNH 1029 requesting IFR clearance to Gateway.
That'll do, I think, for the turn.
Station calling Manchester Grand, call signing.
Manchester Ground, Speedbird 51 Charlie Gate 29 information Foxtrot. Type A320 LTNH 1029
Engine 1 start.
requesting IFR clearance to Gateway.
51
Daniel,
Charlie,
awesome.
Manchester
Ollie,
Grand,
hello
cleared
to you.
Gatwick,
Hope you're
Number
okay.
1 Romeo departure at 2 for right.
Although from memory your name isn't Ollie.
72.
I can't remember what your name is though. Let's try and get a bit on the line, shall we? It's a bit more difficult using this little clunky system here. Park brake. Get rid of the tug.
251 Charlie, you seem to be on taxiway. Can you go onto the sand?
I'm currently on gate 29 and not on the taxiway.
321 contact Manchester Tower 12, correction 118.62.
Jason, that was it. Cool. Engine 2.
So 321 contact
Engine 1
Manchester
available.
Tower 118.65. Wizard 321 contact 118.625. Thank you,
Good,
bye-bye.
both engines are stable. Let's pop that on. And we've got flaps.
Manchester Ground Runner 6824, consider yourself stand one side.
6824 stand 15, position start approved.
Consider yourself approved, stand one side, runner 6824.
Skyway 772, request taxi.
Garrison 72, taxi right Delta, then Kilo Juliet to Juliet 1.
Taxi right Delta, Kilo Juliet, and hold Juliet 1, Skyway 772. Let's have a quick look at these charts. Yeah, so we've managed to push back a bit here.
This is Alpha Whiskey 126, request IFR
Brakes.
clearance to Dublin.
And we're doing a sharp right to head round onto Delta here, so pushback
D136,
is actually working out quite nicely for us.
shortly. I need to reroute.
Okay, roger.
Love the new sounds.
Manchester Ground Osprey 58 ready for pushing start.
Juicy, hello, hope you're okay. Look at Gafar, hello to you in Egypt, wow. Welcome, glad you're with us on the channel.
Swing 528, stand 260.
Steve, sadly not, no. The pop-up things, they just, the sim forces them straight into the middle of the screen.
Skyway 75 Papa Bravo, ready for taxi.
Listen 5 Papa Bravo, hold Lima 1.
Hold
Interesting,
Lima
some
1, 75
slight
Bravo.
spasms there with the rudder pedals, not quite sure why. Doesn't happen in the CRJ.
Listen 5 Papa Bravo, actually taxi Lima Papa, hold Papa, correction Papa 2.
Taxi Lima Papa, hold Papa 2, Skyway 75 Papa Bravo.
So he's actually taken me this way. He's told me right on Delta, Kilo, Juliet.
Osprey 530.
So instead of usually going that way, down there and up, we've got to go down to the bottom, and we've got to go around this bottom taxiway.
Throw 528, facing east.
There goes the whiz.
Osprey 528, thank you.
New jetways, yes. Juicy, and custom taxiways as well.
Manchester Grand Osprey 315 Delta stand 27, request IFR clearance to Milan, have information Foxtrot on board QNH 1029.
So, first left is Bravo. We're swinging round. He'll be looking at me on the radar, seeing if I'm turning the correct way.
Mission calling Manchester Grand, Cortana.
But we are.
Osprey 315 Delta.
Osprey
Gone round the houses
315
here.
Delta, Manchester Grand, cleared to Milano, Sample 1, Romeo departure, 2 for right, school walk, 4242.
Nice touchdown in Perth. Wow.
Cleared to Milan.
That's been a long journey for you.
Squawk 4242 for Osprey 315 Delta.
Cool. That's cleared up the memos of the ECAM. If you're enjoying the stream, guys, give us a like while you're here. Nice to see quite a few guys flying along as Osprey using the community call sign, and we've got a bit of Fly UK here as well, which is great. And one of these Ryanair jets here is coming along for the journey too. Jacob, hello to you, welcome. And if you're new to the channel, very warm welcome to you as well. Please do click subscribe down below while you're here. So, Juliet 1, which is the whole point right at the bottom, gives us a good view of the pub. So we'll have a little look at that before we depart.
The 51 Charlie, ready for pushback and start gate 29.
51 Charlie.
We'll have a little look at what we're testing today is inside here. It's the progress page. We'll see if we can break it today. I've already broke one thing in the MCV.
Taxi, holding point Juliet 1, road 23 right via
custom
Kilo
taxiways and jetties and
hold the
stuff.
point
Lovely
Juliet
work.
1 via Kilo and Juliet. Scotty 75 Papa Bravo.
So, should be handed off to tower any second. 118625, that is ready. 118625 on V Pilot 2, so that's correct.
Manchester ground, easy 32 Papa Charlie, g'day, just after radio check please.
232 Papa Charlie, Manchester ground, readability 5.
Readability 5.
£9.99 and you get all of that. It's absolutely incredible.
JPS,
an update coming soon to Macco Manchester. That's what we're having a little look at today. All custom taxiways and custom jetties as well.
Go 772, contact Manchester Tower 118.65, goodbye.
Tower on 118625 for Skyway 772. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye. Off we go. Pub's up there. Look, there it is. Just about to see the. Manchester Tower, hello, Skyway 772, holding at Juliet 1, ready for departure.
Skyway 772, Manchester Tower, good afternoon. Behind the landing A321 via Juliet 1, line up and wait runway 23 right behind.
Behind the landing A321, line up and wait 23 right behind, Skyway 772. That's a familiar voice. There's the pub.
Manchester Tower, good afternoon, Skyway 75 Papa Bravo at Juliet 1.
Skyway 75 Papa Bravo, Manchester Tower, good afternoon.
So, strobes. There's the A321. There's another aircraft on final, so I can see the lights in the distance. There's the pub for you guys that want to have a bit more of a closer look at it. And I'll focus back on the taxiway now, because otherwise I'll end up going on the grass. Tom, use a client called VPilot from Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it shows you...
772, surface winds 330 degrees at 5 knots, runway 23 right, cliff takeoff.
Cliff takeoff 23 right, Skyway 772. Ooh, I can tell I've been in the CRJ. Start the chrono, get the stick down, bit of power first. Flex, SRS, thrust set. 80 knots. V1 rotate. Positive right, gear up. Let's get that custom view out, shall we? Get the gear going in. Lovely stuff. And I think that view for a bit of Manchester as we climb away. although text only winds me up. Good grief. There we are. Let's fly the plane, shall we, before we have a problem.
Skyway 772, Monty Unicom 122, decimal 8, have a great flight, see you soon, bye bye.
Monty Unicom 122, decimal 8 for Skyway 772, thank you very much, have a good day, bye.
Skyway 75, Papa Bravo, behind the landing A321, line up and wait, runway 23 right behind.
Behind the line, landing aircraft, run up left.
Let's take over with this. That's interesting. Let's, okay. We're good. Jacob, so that's basically people that don't want to use voice, they're using text, but it does make things quite difficult, and for those of us who are not using text, it then splats everything all over our screen, which is a little frustrating at times. Flaps have gone in, so let's disarm the ground spoilers as well. Oh, Kai, long flight, you've thrown it away, good grief. So, there we go, Manchester off in the distance. We're flying the Samba 1 Romeo, so after departure, you turn right for noise abatement, so you don't overfly this village here. And you can hear now we're throttles have spooled right back. And in a moment we'll be turning left. Nice to be back in the Airbus A320 fly-by-wire stuff for the day. Spent a lot of time in the CLJ recently, as a lot of you know, which I absolutely love. Fantastic aeroplane. Jacob, yeah, that's the one. Text on VATSIM. I mean, there's a bit of a common misconception as well, where if you're getting started on VATSIM, sometimes people think it's easier to use text because they'll potentially be nervous for using voice or whatever else. But a lot of the time, it is actually harder work for the pilot using text because you're having to type everything back really quickly. Steve, there is a way to deactivate the tip box, so for those of you who don't want it, you can deactivate it in your own settings, but sometimes when you're flying into other countries and accents can be quite hard to decipher, the pop-ups are quite handy. A lot of the time you will get controllers giving you information, and they will then send it via text as well, so you can see exactly what they've said just in case there's any problems. Kai, one engine failure, we restarted the flight, fuel consumption issue, then plans didn't work, yeah. Jacob, nice, you'll love the Just Flight PA28, it's absolutely fantastic. I really enjoy it. Tomorrow, guys, for those of you who might want to get started on VATSIM and you're a bit nervous using voice or something like that, then join us tomorrow. We'll be going live at Birmingham Airport and I'm going to be the ground controller. We're going to have David, who was in the live chat earlier, as the clearance delivery controller, and potentially we're going to have Tower on as well, and they're all going to be aware that you guys might be connecting for the very first time, so we're all going to be there to help you get started on VATSIM Network, with advice, help, help with your flight plan. If there's a problem with your flight plan, then David's going to be on clearance delivery helping out with that, away from the stream, so there's no pressure with you guys getting clearance live on YouTube. And then when you're about to push back, there's David. When you're about to push back, he'll hand you over to me as the ground controller, and then I will deal with your pushback, your engine start, your taxi, up to the point where you're just about to reach the runway, and then I'll hand you off either to Unicom and you can go and enjoy your flight on Unicom, or to a tower controller. It's going to be a very easy day tomorrow for those of you who do want to join us. There's not going to be any pressure, unless you put pressure on yourself, of course, because we all recognise that you've got to start early. You've got to start at some point on VATSIM. I highly recommend just going straight into it, grab a microphone, go straight into it with voice. but if you're not sure, I've got an entire playlist to give you all the basics to try and help you get started. And within the playlist description as well for the VATSIM playlist, there's a link to a Google Drive. And what I've done is I've created a whole load of PDF documents which you can all download for free and use and enjoy for each different stage of flight. So little demonstration of a conversation with a ground controller, for example, or getting your clearance. I've put all these into little PDF documents, so you can actually use that tomorrow, for example, if those of you connecting for the first time. You'll be able to download the PDFs and you'll have to have a little look and help that, or use that to help build your conversation with the controllers. In fact, for those of you watching, I will find the link and I'll put it on the live chat for you. So you'll have in the live chat right now, there'll be a link to that. Share, get link. They're all free because I reckon part of this channel at least is all about the community first and enjoying the simulator. So if I can help people with that, then happy days. David's got some tips in the live chat for those of you who want to join tomorrow, things to remember. And Ethan's Aviation, yeah, the weird ice thing still exists, sadly. Asobo don't think it's a problem. How are we doing with the climb then? We should be almost at our... Yeah, standard pressure. Cruise altitude today of flight level 330. We're not in Toga anymore, so let's get rid of the chrono. So what we're doing today is testing one of these pages. So I know that we're going up to Dover soon, so I can do a progress DVR. There we go. Happy days. And I'm going to be testing this function as we go. And what it's doing is it's looking for the Dover waypoint, which is further along on our route. There it is there. 150 or so miles away. 160 miles away, there you go. And we put it into this page here, with this tab here, which is the fourth button down on the right hand side. And we can then type it in and add it here, and it will then show us a bearing to that waypoint, which is really handy if you want to go direct somewhere and you want to make sure things are working properly, or you want to fly visually and things, trying to work out a couple of steps ahead of the aeroplane. And it'll also give you your distance, so quite a cool little feature here. And we'll be trying that out as we go. Yes, that's track miles, Jason, yeah, so it's looking at this entire line here, and it's going, well, along your flight plan route you need to go there, bear with. The old woofer was going off. Let's see, where's that link again? I'll try and make a little reminder for myself so that throughout today's stream I frequently put my little PDF folder link into the chat for you guys. and it includes an oceanic one as well, folks. So if you want to throw yourself into oceanic procedures and things on VATSIM 2 and you want to know roughly what to expect, then there's an entire document for that as well, with links to things that would be really handy, like the oceanic clearance generator for Gander on their website thing. So check that out, it is very handy. That's good. David, yeah, that's a good point. I haven't looked at their Discord. My Oceanic PDF was done for quite a while ago. Around about 2-3 months ago, I think I made that one. Oops. Let's get rid of these off, shall we? And let the folks out the back. Yeah, Gander Oceanic's website is absolutely fantastic for those of you who want to fly on the network and do oceanic stuff. Pretty much everything you need to know is on that website. That's how I made it through my my 747 JFK to Heathrow stream a couple of months ago. Callum, hello, hope you're well. Commentator, good afternoon to you. Yeah, commentator, thank you. Yeah. I remember you've been around from the very beginning, so thanks for being about. We've grown very quickly from that first live stream around the middle of October, and we've pretty much exploded up to 5,000, so really exciting. Callum, what's the updates to Manchester? So we've got new custom textures all along the taxiways and the aprons, and we've also got new custom air bridges, custom jetties with the Manchester Airport logos all over them as well, which is really cool. Looks very good indeed. I've set all these new custom views up because obviously the fly-by-wire branch has been side forked, but it's you know what, it's I've changed the order and I'm still clicking buttons as if they're the old custom views. So there might be a bit of chopping and changing with the views today. Sean, hello. Thanks, British App Geek. These tools are excellent for new flight sim pilots able to download PDF files. Well done. Awesome. I'm glad you're finding them useful. When I'd been out of the sim world for about 10-15 years until Microsoft Flight Simulator got released, and I've then ended up scrambling to get back into it all and trying to remind myself how to use VATSIM and everything else. And I've flown it in real life before, light aeroplanes, and I've done loads of air traffic control stuff in real life whilst I've been flying. And on VATSIM, pressing that push to talk button for the very first time is actually very nerve-wracking. Even for, I found it very intimidating almost, because I didn't want to muck up, I didn't want to cause any problems. But that's why I've created all of the tutorials on the channel, and that's why I've created those free PDFs as well, because some people like to watch videos, some people like to have a guide next to them that helps them along as they go. So I thought, for those of you who are going to be flying, you want a reference whilst you're flying. So, and a PDF for each phase of flight, there's nothing better than that. Something I would have liked to have had when I was getting back into VATSIM, so I've gone and created it. Let's see, 27,000. I'll just drop this down a bit. Oh, that's an Osprey. Awesome. Cream Harwood, awesome. Once you've done VATSIM 1 or 2 times, you end up really enjoying it. and then you can never imagine flying in the simulator any other way ever again. Especially when it's really busy, once you get the hang of it. My biggest piece of advice
traffic, easy 134 Bravo
is
10 miles from Ticket.
don't throw
Or
yourself
ILS
in at the
runway
deep end
27.
with a big event or during a busy, busy big airport like Heathrow or Gatwick. If they're both really busy, that's the last place you want to start, because if something goes wrong, it can quite easily put you off. What I recommend is starting at a small airport with a couple of taxiways like Edinburgh. Edinburgh's fantastic. But also on so things like tomorrow, for example, that's why I've actually gone and done all the training to become a ground controller on VATSIM, so I can be that voice on the other end of the radio for those of you who want to get started. And Birmingham's a great place to start. We're flying over that now, actually. About 5 minutes ago, flew over Birmingham. You've only got 1 or 2 main taxiways, and then you've got 1 runway that you're going to use. So it's nice and simple. Handful of SIDs and stars to use, get your head around. So it's a great place to start. If they stay quite popular as well, as we did on that previous controller live stream at Birmingham, if they stay quite popular, what I would like to do is to run a live stream and a controller session at least once a month, where I'm on the ground as a ground controller at Birmingham, and we stream for like 2 hours, maybe, probably more like 2.5, 3 hours. And those of you who want to get on a flight somewhere in VATSIM, and you might want a familiar voice, especially if you're new, then you can connect to an event like we're doing tomorrow. Ethan's Aviation, awesome, I'll speak to you soon. Yeah, Edinburgh is getting quite popular, isn't it? Daniel's airborne. Not too bad actually, because you're about 10 minutes behind, so there's a couple of aeroplanes in front. We should end up arriving quite nicely. As somebody said a minute ago in the live chat, I did spot, somebody said the spacings are really good. Doctor on board, watched my VATSIM tutorials and used the PDFs a lot, they're really helpful. I'm glad to hear. Some of them of course need a bit of updating, just a bit of polishing, so over the next few months what I'm hoping to do is a lot of these VATSIM tutorials that I've made, I'm looking to polish them off a little bit, make them a bit nicer, a bit better. So watch this space, might have some updated ones coming soon. And of course I'm yet to do an oceanic tutorial, and I could do one in the A320, but I'm intentionally waiting for a long haul aeroplane. I'm intentionally waiting for something like the Quality Wings 787, and then I'll do some oceanic long hauls, and I'll do a tutorial using it as well. But all the same principles apply. You could do the same in the A320 really. Daniel, no problem. I've got used to just cutting my own hair now. I bought a shaver kit. Just got used to doing it myself, although I've mucked it up this time. I've shaved a bit too much of my fringe off, so I've got a weird patch on the front of my head, which is never good. Paul, you did Gatwick midweek madness for your second or third go on VATSIM. Good grief, threw yourself straight into it. Hi all, what's the best app to use to check for online controllers for VATSIM? Yeah, a lot of people will say VATSpy. I don't use VATSpy personally. If you've got an Android phone actually, bear with me, my phone's on charge. Let me find out. If for those of you who have got Android, there's an app for that. Let me find what it's called. VATScan, and it's on the Android Google Play Store. And that you can pretty much use the phone then, and it connects similar to VATSpy. It'll tell you who's online where. Very good. Have I got the 787XE? No, I haven't. I had the, was it the Hangar 9? I'm sure it was the Hangar 9. 787 mod for a little while, which was good, but very, very raw, very basic, not very much done. Womby Flappy Boy, hello to you, welcome, nice to see you again. Is the 787XE any good? Because I know a lot of the stuff with the 787 is encrypted, isn't it, under a DRM, so it's almost impossible for them to edit and decrypt. So I'm not really sure what they can improve. Personally, I'm waiting for the Quality Wings 787. I think that's going to be quite good. It's not going to be top level stuff, but it's still going to be a challenge, and I'm quite looking forward to that. It'll be the first proper long haul jet for the sim as well, so very exciting in that sense. The XE is good, but the plane they're working with is terrible. 787 barely does anything to the 787. What do you mean? He's retracted it. Try again. Emiliano, is Milan controlled right now? I don't think it is. Although I'm not too sure. There's a lot of controllers that have suddenly come online around the UK though. We've got Stansted, Edinburgh, Heathrow, Gatwick, Manchester ground. We've got Manchester Tower, Dublin Tower, Amsterdam approach and Dublin approach. So loads online. Reese, I completely agree with you actually, and I only really bought Premium Deluxe Microsoft Flight Simulator because I thought that the 787 would actually be a lot better than it is. And I bought it for Heathrow scenery as well, of course. How much will the Quality Wings 787 be? I'm not sure. They don't say very much actually. Quality Wings. They've kept things very quiet, very off the radar with their development. Tom, yes, you can. I've got VATSIM for X-Plane 11. Can I join the event tomorrow at Birmingham? Of course you can. Yes, most definitely. It'd be great to have you. For those of you who are in our Discord server, if you've got a route in mind that you might want to fly tomorrow, then use the opportunity today to work out a bit of a route and see what you can expect. And you can use our Discord server to chat around what routes you might be using for tomorrow, so that when it comes to you getting your clearance, you'll already know that you've got the correct route for your flight. Aviation simulation, yeah, well, exactly. The Heathrow scenery by Asobo is not great, to be fair, as we all know. Hopefully some payware developers come along soon. Going back to the Quality Wings 787, I'm not sure how much that is going to be. I would like to think it's going to be around 60 to 80 British pounds, but beyond that I'm really not sure. Daniel, do I think the Project Megapack A330 is dead? Can't believe we've not had any more updates for it. Yeah, I'm a bit confused as well with that. They've rushed a release for a bit of a botched job. Made something that works, but it's not brilliant, is it? Let's face it. And it needs the A32NX compatibility mod to be anywhere near usable. But they've been promising for a little while now. Actually, they've been promising updates, and one of the developers actually came into a stream an entire month ago, so it was early March actually, thinking about this, and they said, oh, an update's coming soon, we've got loads to update and show. We're still waiting, so I have no idea. I mean, that's part of the problem. The Project Megapack guys think that it's quite good. It'd be quite good if it was on if it was on a older sim like FSX, X-Plane, that sort of thing, where the graphics are just nowhere near as good. The Microsoft Flight Simulator is a whole next level thing. XO, yeah, but that's the problem. They don't actually know how to mod properly. The landing gear, for example, on the Project Megapack A330, they've harvested that from the Asobo 747-8. So the landing gear, the struts, the wheels, etc. for the PMP A330 are the exact same as the Asobo 747 because they've just taken the parts and they've put it on their own plane. Creamhole, if you type into a browser discord.io/BritishAvGeek, that should work. If not, let me fetch a other link for you, which should work. Bear with me. I don't tend to have Discord open when I'm streaming because it gobbles up performance. But for those of you joining the Discord server, make sure that of course you head into the rules page and tick the little British AvGeek logo along the rules to then get the frequent flyer role given to you, and then you'll be able to see everything in the server itself. Oh yeah, Daniel, I compare the A330 sounds to my Hoover actually, and they sound very similar. The problem with that is they've used A330 sounds from Flight Simulator X, and it is noticeably poor. And again, why would you release that? I just don't know. I mean, it's a shame. They could have made something quite incredible, really. Dover 25.2, good stuff. Yeah, they could have made something quite incredible, but they haven't, sadly. Well, not that they haven't. It's, you know, it's 0.2 or something, isn't it? Version 0.2 or something. But at the end of the day, they promised regular updates, and they've yet again, like they did with the A321, they've released something and then gone, that'll do, and they've just left it. Who knows? Hopefully in the future we get an update from them of some sort. I think on flightsim.to, I think I saw today that there's been an update on there where somebody else has gone in and re-edited the sounds and released it as a mod. But I've not tried that. Do you know where I could download the CSL models for your liveries for tomorrow's VATSIM event? For our liveries, sadly we don't have any X-plane liveries for it, I've got to say. I'm hoping somebody might be able to reach out and do some channel liveries, Osprey liveries for those of you who use X-plane. But we don't have it, sadly. Daniel, yeah, the problem is they don't like the fly-by-wire team, and historically there's been a few issues, and it all stemmed from some of the illegal work that they were doing, illegal mods and things in the past, with like the A330 linked to Canadian mods and all that sort of stuff. So sad times. Satric, hello. That's why it'll be particularly nice when the A330 turns up. Sorry, not the A330. It'll be particularly nice when the Quality Wings 787 turns up, because we will then have a aircraft that will work as it should for long haul flights. But you know, the A330 is not too bad. With the A32NX compatibility mod that you can download on flightsim.to, it ports in a lot of the A32NX stuff into the A330 quite nicely. And then it makes it usable for Thomas, yes, I thought I had. I apologise. Let me find it and put it in again. It makes the A330 just about usable by having the compatibility mod. Hazza, yes, I completely agree. It is a very oddly dramatic hobby, and a very expensive one at that. Matteo, hello! Oh, awesome! We've got a Milan approach controller when we get there. Brilliant! Can't wait. That's very kind of you, thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying the stream as well. Welcome. Aviation simulation, yeah, that's pretty much the sum of it, isn't it? And everybody else seems to have forgotten about it. The 737 I'm not sure about. I'd have to physically have a look at it and see what happens. There's a couple of aeroplanes that come into the sim. One or two that I can't talk about, sadly. And Flybywire, of course, are making the A380. But I can't talk about the project progress for that either. Been sworn to secrecy, if you like. Creamhole, I mean, A330 is freeware, yeah. But so is the A32NX. And I know the A32NX doesn't have its own model. Things like that, but it's not too bad. John, hello. Still yet to do, was it Heathrow to Dalaman, I think? Or Bournemouth to Dalaman you were asking for a little while ago? Yeah, that's part of the problem, aviation simulation. They promised regular updates, and after it literally was release day, they've not touched it since. They've not updated anything since, so it's very disappointing. They promised the world and delivered not very much so far. The best thing to do with a lot of these projects is not is to not expect too much from them, really. I mean, it's just generally how I go around life, really. But try not to take too much out of these freeware projects, because a lot of these servers that I've been in and out of over the last few months, there's a couple of them that I've been in, and they are making a whole lot of stuff on Blender, which is great. But when it comes to actually making the aeroplane fly properly, they have no idea, and then the project fizzles out. Jesse, welcome to the channel, thanks for subscribing. Yes, as everybody's saying there, Tom, I was thinking about getting VATSIM for MSFS. Is it tricky to install? No, really, really easy. The only thing that takes a bit of time is the fact that yeah, if you want model matching and you want things like that to work, as you've seen in the video today, that takes a bit of time to try and get all of your models and things installed and your liveries installed so that everything works nicely. But there's a page on our Discord server, model matching help, and there's a whole load of stuff in the pinned messages within there that can make things a lot quicker, get your installation for your model matching done a lot quicker and stuff like that. So, and we're always more than happy to help on the Discord server too. Reese, no, that was somebody subscribing. We turned off the seatbelt signs a little while ago. Siamak, hello, and love the content. Thank you very much. I'm glad you do. Those of you watching in the background, please do click subscribe, and also make sure you give us a like as well while you're here. Really helps the channel grow. There's only two freeware teams that are amazingly good, and that's Flybywire and the helicopter project team, I guess, and also the CJ4 team. William, no problem, have a good one. I've not tried the helicopter yet, I've got to say. Wesley. Well, where are we at the moment? If you wanted to join us, if you take off from Paris Charles de Gaulle in the next 10 minutes, you'll probably arrive around the same time. The Aerosoft is really good. Yeah, the CRJ, if that's what you mean. Absolutely amazing, I love it. So I tried your model matching pack, it shows an error unable to load. Any way to fix it? What? Which model matching pack? And how are you installing it? CMAX saying, help me a lot to get along in MSFS, in particular your nice tutorials. Thank you, I'm really glad. For those of you new to simming, it's a really steep learning curve, and if you've got somebody that can explain the ins and outs and sort of understand some of the key features to help people get along and get started, then it's always helpful, isn't it? How do you get the updates for Macco simulations EGCC? Are they automatic? It's a good question actually. If you get the installer, the Macco simulations installer, what they tend to do is they tend to put out an email update to say that there's a new update been released, or there'll be an announcement on their Discord server, and what you can then do is just click it in their installer package and it'll update it all for you. Really easy. The one that I was using at the start of the video today, the start of the stream today, are all it's a pre-release build, so little bits of tweaks and things need to be made to it before it gets released. But it's very good. Daniel. Brilliant. Poor Wesley. Let's have a little test again. Where are we going? Lesdo's coming up, isn't it? So let's throw it straight into one that's quite close. On the progress page. 51 miles, lovely. Whilst I'm doing this, I'm also putting a lot of my reports and stuff into... let's see if I can do one LFPG. This is not even on our route. Let's see if we can come up with it. Oh, that's fantastic. That's cool. What else have we got then? Gersa, Soson. Now our route takes us, where is it? To Odina. O-D-N-A. This is what we're testing today, guys, for the flybywire team. Ah, Matteo. Yeah, there you go, if that helps. We've got 351 nautical miles before we reach Odina. Reese, haven't bothered with model matching yet. Is it worth the hassle? I would say so, yes, because then you can see all of the other airlines around you displaying as best as we possibly can in the sim currently. So I do think it's worthwhile doing, although it's not perfect. There's an American CRJ pilot if you want to learn more about the CRJ. Yeah, so I've actually created a load of tutorials for the Aerosoft CRJ. But also, very regularly in our live chats, we have a guy called Matthew, and he's an American CRJ pilot, and he comes into our live chats quite regularly, and we chat away, and he gives everybody loads of tips and tricks. He's not a YouTuber or anything though, he's a real life pilot, and he's very, very good. And he's actually helped me learn the CRJ very quickly, which is why I've then been able to do tutorials that can help all of you guys. David's asking, it's not a stupid question, but I'm not sure quite what model matching does. we don't really have proper model matching at the moment. So really what I call it more than anything else is actually just livery matching. So it's just taking the aeroplane codes and then it matches it with what we can possibly have currently in the sim. Video, hello, what version of the fly-by-wire am I on? It's the development version, but also we're on a test branch, so we're doing the progress page with bearing and distance 2. So this feature here that we're looking at, bearing distance 2, Adina. This is a new feature that's gone into the, we're going into the mod soon, and I'm testing it out as one of the lead QAs for fly-by-wire. How long have I been on VATSIM? I started on VATSIM again back in September when I was getting back into the sim, which is really good. F1 crew, hello to you, welcome. Still reading the CRJ documentation. How are you getting on with it? I absolutely love it. I think it's a brilliant aeroplane for the sim. And once you get the hang of it, and you can think about 3 or 4 minutes ahead of the aeroplane, it works beautifully. It works so well. Do you know if Asobo plan to add model matching into the sim? Graham, good question. I think they're pretty much just leaving it up to other projects. We had there was a project called FSLTL, Flight Simulator Live Traffic Liveries, I think it stood for, and they were making very, very good progress. And they were working in partnership with VATSIM and in partnership with FLAI, who, those of you who know X-Plane and everything, you'll know about those, that organisation, that group. Part of FLAI was a group called AIG. They then got frustrated and wanted more fame because they were developing a package for Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. They got upset with FLAI for joining FSLTL, and AIG didn't want to merge their project with SFLTL to help the project and help the wider sim community. Both projects were going to be freeware, of course. They then ended up causing loads of issues and pulled the plug with FLAI. There's too many acronyms. And they ended up closing down FLAI because of their bitterness, I guess, which is really sad. And what it did is it stopped the progress of FSLTL as well. FSLTL were actually very close to releasing a final package with model matching that all worked really nicely, and I spent an entire month myself building a model matching script for them to use as part of their package, so that they would release it to everybody, and within that package there was a VMR for all of us on VATSIM, and you just drag that, drop that, put that into your vPilot, and away you go with thousands of liveries built into it. And it took me an entire month, and then everything ran to a halt, so they've gone back to square one, sadly. FM1 crew, yeah, the biggest thing with the CRJ is constantly monitoring speed. At the end of the day, it's very hands-on compared to the Airbus. The Airbus is very easy to fly. Daniel, I think runway 35 left was spoken about earlier for arrivals, but it sounds like we've got Matteo in the chat logging in as Milan approach, which is awesome. So he'll then generate an ATIS with current weather data and things like that. David, last couple of flights I've had the FMS send me into a circle about 30 minutes into a flight in the latest dev build. Anyone else had this? I've not had it yet. And how long we've been going for? An hour and 10. So not too long. But we've had no issues yet. Vanajti, hello. Don't worry about the rescan option. That's now greyed out, so that's locked. So we can't click it anymore, but that's not a problem at all. that spacing. Oh, that's pretty good actually, isn't it? As I'm guessing that's X-plane that you're on. The only aeroplane that's got TCAS in the sim at the moment is the Aerosoft CLJ, which I found the other day and I was really surprised and impressed with. There's Adina. Creamhole, does the experimental version of the A32NX have that Navigraph in the fly pad? No. So for those of you who saw my video a little while ago, about a week ago now, I did a preview of an upcoming feature for the A32NX EFB which had Navigraph integration built into it, which is really cool. But what you need to bear in mind is that it's still about 2 or 3 weeks away, so there's nothing yet. When it does get merged, however, I will change the thumbnail for that video and the description for that video in particular, so that everybody can see that it's not coming soon anymore, it's actually out now. And it will go into the development build first, then a couple of hours later it will go into the experimental version. Has us on P3D. Nice. Adina 2 Golf is the arrival procedure that we're going to plan for. Russell, hello. Sorry you're late, no problem at all. Hopefully you've got enough water to produce enough steam. Reese had trouble with the ILS going into LAX after an update earlier this week. What happened there then? I assume that was with the A32NX, was it? Vanagity, so you don't need it for the model matching mod to work. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So don't worry about that too much. When you click on the model matching tab, what I would recommend for those of you using vPilot on Microsoft Flight Simulator is to go onto your vPilot, go to settings, and then scroll all the way down to updates, and then you want to make sure that box is ticked that says check for vPilot updates, and then there's a drop down box underneath that, and you want to make sure that you've selected beta, because the beta versions work very well with the sim at the moment. So you want to use the beta version instead, and you want to always run the vPilot client as in administrator mode. Makes it a lot more stable. Paul, yes, that is quite annoying actually. There's been a discussion with the fly-by-wire developers the last week or so, trying to work out how they can fix that and prevent it from happening. Creamhole, is dev or experimental better? That's a great question. Well, for me, I'm always using the development version because whenever I fly in the A32NX, I'm always in a development build test branch, or a pull request as it's known. And that's because I'm always testing new features as a QA tester for the team in advance of them going into the development version. I always recommend the development version because for me it works a lot better. I know the experimental version is enjoyed by a lot of people because it's got the custom fly-by-wire, it's got the custom autopilot and things built into it, but it is an experimental version, it's an experiment. So things can go wrong, and that's why I use the development version really. Hazard attempted first CRJ flight yesterday, didn't go well. I was getting 0 climb performance and the AP kept going full nose up trim. Why? Hard to work out unless I can sort of see the cockpit really, and sort of see what's going on at the time. Haven't flown into Key West yet, David. I'd quite like to. Yeah, see, I'd like to try the experimental version out more, but because I'm a QA tester and I'm sort of loosely on the development team for the fly-by-wire project, if I fly the A32NX my commitment to the project is that I fly the test branches because I'm a QA tester and work within the project. So if I'm not testing anything when I fly it, it's not helping the progression of the project. So I'm always just in the development version. I'd love to do the experimental version. I've done it once or twice just for a bit of a break, but yeah, I'm pretty much always just on a test branch linked to the development version. Jacob uses experimental one as well. Nice. Paul, yeah, ice, sadly. We went through some cloud departing Manchester, so we got the standard Asobo reaction of loads of ice all over the aeroplane. And why it happens, I don't know. Those of you tuning in for the very first time, very warm welcome to you. Please do click subscribe. Say hello in the live chat as well. If you've got any burning questions about VATSIM, the CRJ, the A320, fly-by-wire mod, or anything else, just fire away in the live chat. Be sure to join us tomorrow. If you want to get started on the VATSIM network especially, we're going to be going to Birmingham Airport, and I'm going to be the ground controller on VATSIM there for about 2 to 3 hours with a couple of other folk helping as well. So we're going to have a clearance delivery, maybe a tower and approach controller and stuff as well, so that'll be quite cool. Hazard, that would be quite good, although I'm not sure how easy that would be actually. Yeah, those of you, as Paul is saying, those of you having issues with the CRJ, climb performance and things like that, a lot of the time it is down to ice. There is an icing bug at the moment. And also on the CRJ, from memory, round up here somewhere on the overhead panel, there's a couple of switches for icing. You want to make sure your wing icing and your windscreen icing and things are on, but there's 2 switches for cowling icing here as well on the CRJ, and you want to make sure that they're off for the climb, because if they're on, you lose about 7 to 8% of your N1, and then you find you just don't climb. My flybywire A32NX isn't working. Is it the non-flybywire liveries? Possibly. You'll have to work it out, I guess. I'm not sure. It could be a yeah, it could be any reason really. Milan Malpensa, yes, Cider, it is indeed. First time flying into Milan actually in the sim. Default scenery though. We departed Manchester and had some fantastic Macco simulation scenery. Zorgmeister, yeah, I think they're trying to fix it. They've done a couple of big updates. There's an update for the Just Flight PA28 coming soon as well, version 0.4 coming soon, and that looks really cool. So I'm looking forward to try that when it does arrive, when it does drop. The CRJ over the next month or so should have another update coming to fix a few other bits. Creamhole, yeah. I still don't know why people use the stable version. I'm in complete agreement. Jarmo, hello to you, welcome. I'm in complete agreement. I don't really get it, to be honest. I think the problem is a lot of people don't really understand what the stable version is. Those people that use the stable don't quite understand that it's not. The name of it's a bit misleading, I think. All stable means is that the package doesn't change for a long time. So those of you using the stable at the moment, it's based on the A32NX in early December, which is a really, really long time ago. And you know, you're missing out on a hell of a lot of stuff. New textures, coffee cup, EFB, track FPA mode, loads of updates to the MCDU, all the different lighting and things as well. So much being missed out by those people that are using the stable version. Violent koala. Are you airborne? That's the more important thing. Thomas, so you're using the version that I showed in the video, is that correct? With a different layout, without going too much into it. It's actually broken at the moment, so I wouldn't recommend using it because I managed to break it in testing, or in pre-test testing, within the development team. So I wouldn't recommend the FlyPad OS thing at the moment, the updates, because it's still very much a work in progress and quite raw. There is a new stable version coming very soon for those of you who like to use the stable only, and I've got a video waiting ready to go for when that goes live, showing all the updates and some of the changes. Orlando Avgeek, hello. Great username. Daniel's currently over Belgium. If you use simbrief to generate your route, it sends you on a really bizarre routing that takes you round Italy and then back towards Milan, which is a little bit bizarre. So it may be that. What was I looking at? Flight plan. Have we got ATIS? Oh, I've got LIMC ground online. Oh, brilliant. So arrival runway. Expect ILS approach arrival runway 35 left, which is what we want. So in it goes, arrival. Now ILS 35 left, Yankee or Zulu. Let's have a look at Navigraph, and you guys can see how I decide between the two. There's our position at the moment. So I go to the stars, and I want the Adina 2 Golf, so I can see what to expect here. Adina, flight level 150, the next waypoint after that MC6905. We have to be at or above flight level 150 there. And then we fly past Milan Malpensa, you can see it there in the little grey circle. And we continue quite far south, wow. To then head round to Inla, which is the initial approach fix. Now 35 left on the tab here on the left hand side, you've got ILS Zulu or ILS Yankee. So if we go Zulu, you go straight from Inla, mandatory 190 knot speed and 4,000 foot there, or 3,000 given by ATC. And the ILS Yankee is a slightly different procedure. So that shows us there, because we're going in via Inla, we want the ILS Zulu, runway 35 left. ILS Zulu via Inla, there we go. And then we need to find our approach again. Odin 2 Golf via Inla, insert, and then you can see it's fed all into the sim there, so that looks pretty good. We can use our progress page to look at how far we've got to Adina, which is the entry point for the star, and we've got 200 miles to go. So around about 150 miles before we reach top of descent for the particular star that we're using today. And we can look at the RadNav page. We've got the ILS frequency there of 1091, and we know that's correct because in the box there on the charts we can see 109.1 as well. We can look at the top as well. On the very left box we have lock IMA 109.1 and a final approach course of 348 degrees. And our missed approach data there as well. So if we have to go around, we can see what we have to do. Those of us, if we were flying the CRJ, airport elevation would have to be manually tuned in using the overhead panel, the buttons up there, to tell the aeroplane what to depressurize to. And there's a Milan Malpensa VOR there that we're going to have to tune, 113.35. So 113.35. Stick that in, that's our VOR, useful for a go around because that's part of the instructions for the go around. good stuff. Aviation enthusiast, should my name be American AvGeek? Go for it. Although the TUI logo would be confusing. Zugmeister, yes, but there's an update coming soon for Manchester. It's not yet available. We were having a look at it today, testing it for Macco simulations before it goes into the pre-release. I'll test a few of his airport pre-builds for him, along with a couple of other people. But you can look forward to custom taxiways, custom jetties, air bridges, things like that as well, and some interiors being modelled in as well. I'm really confused, where is the A32NX? It's not there. So I'm guessing you're in aircraft selector, you scroll all the way across to the right in the airliners tab, and it should be at the very far right. There should be a fly-by-wire simulations Airbus A320neo aeroplane. A video, most likely yes. We probably will get a shortcut, but we've got a plan for what the charts tell us. The best thing of a bit of advice really when you're looking at trying to choose what approach to commit to, if in doubt, choose Zulu. That's the best piece of advice that an airline pilot gave me for simming. If in doubt, just pick Zulu. What do I think about the 747 Creamhole? Good question. I've not used it for a very long time. There was a bit of a stage where Salty Simulations was starting to make some good progress with the Salty Sim 747 mod. So I did a transatlantic flight from JFK to Heathrow, and I was testing out all of the new simbrief integration that they were bringing into it. So really exciting time, and it was quite promising as well, using it for that particular flight. Since then, it's like everything's just stopped, which is really sad. It does ruin it a little bit, because it's quite frustrating, isn't it? We want a long-haul aeroplane for the sim, and we've got two aeroplanes that are utterly useless in the sim at the moment for that. Daniel, go for it. I'm sure nobody will notice. Unless you're in Bremen radar at the moment, because they're online. Extreme Paul, hello. Your model matching is actually not making the right liveries. Interesting. I don't know why. It depends on your setup, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure. If you're in our Discord server, head to our model matching help channel, and in the pinned messages there's a program that one of our subscribers, one of our channel members actually, one of our silver frequent flyers is actually creating, and it will run through your community folder and it will generate a VMR for you, so it helps make it that little bit more accurate. So do check that out in our Discord server. Again, it's another free program. Logroll, good question. Are the Navigraph charts up to date? Yes, they are. Updated that the other day, because I've seen a simmer with Navigraph and not up to date charts. No, we're okay today. FL4 Ghost, hello, welcome to you. And John, hello. At what point in the descent would you normally activate approach phase? That's a great question. It depends entirely on where you're flying and what is going on at the time, but just before you transition out of the star towards the final approach, you have to make sure you've got approach mode already active. Usually I think the rule of thumb is 15 nautical miles before. And on the charts you'll have a little D with a ring in the A32NX, a little magenta D, and that's the decel point. If you fly past that, the aeroplane will automatically put itself into approach mode for you, just in case you forget. I speak Brazil. No, sadly I don't speak Portuguese or Brazilian. Yeah, and that's the other thing with model matching as well, actually. As Zorgmeister said there, it all depends on not only your setup, but how the other people are connecting around you. If you get people that connect with the wrong call sign, so instead of BA, BAW for British Airways, they connect as BA, it won't work. If they connect in an A320 and use A32N, it won't work because that's not a correct aircraft type. They need to connect with the correct A320 aircraft type, which is A20N. So it does rely on other people in the sim being accurate around you as well for them to show up properly. Do you still have to wait for lock star before activating approach? No, you could just go ahead and click approach if you want to. Sometimes, I mean pretty much all the time actually, I don't use lock mode in the sim because all the vectors and things usually end up making me line up with the ILS quite nicely thanks to really good air traffic controllers. So I just hit approach mode straight away at that point when I'm cleared to fly the ILS. Is my livery in the Google Drive? Creamhole, yes it is. It is indeed. Do you like airplane? Yes, I do. Wish I was an airline pilot actually. Isn't it usually at the decel point? Yes, so that's the ring with a D that I was on about earlier. So you can select it before that, but the D is there as a final limit. So the point where you hit D, the aeroplane will put itself into approach mode instead if you've forgotten. I usually put it in there before I reach the decel point. Abdul, hello to you. Ruark, to an announcement. I've actually got a program that can do some announcements, but because we're in Fly UK colours today, flying for Fly UK Virtual Airlines, which is a really good virtual airline if you guys want to get stuck into some amazing routes in the sim. They don't have any announcements, but I can generate a few. Let's have a little look here with the Luke Air tool. It's free. I could do a bit of EasyJet duty free.
Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with absolutely great. In your in-flight brochure, you'll find details about award-winning selection of kits, both with massive discounts.
Violent Quality, if you ever wanted to fly VFR circuits at an airport, would you have to request clearance for this from the delivery controller, or would you go straight to ground? Go straight to ground and ask for startup clearance, tell your intentions that you want to fly VFR circuits, and they will then tell you to stand by. Because what they then have to do is they have to contact tower or approach, depending on what sort of circuits you're doing. If you're in a light aeroplane, they'll contact tower and say, we've got a Cessna 152 at the general aviation area requesting VFR circuits. The tower controller then dictates to the ground controller what the clearance might be for the circuit, so the circuit altitude and all of the other parameters for that. Once the tower controller has cleared you for the circuits in speech to the ground controller will come back to you and say VFR circuits are approved. They'll tell you if it's a left or a right hand circuit in your altitude, but you also might get that is a lot of wing flex. You might also get told to stand by. The tower controller might then tell the ground controller, clear them to taxi, but the clearance will be at the hold for the circuits, in which case you'll get startup approved, report ready for taxi, and then you'll get instructions to taxi to the hold points for the runway, and then when you contact tower, the tower controller will give you your VFR clearance for your circuits. If you're going to go out of an airport VFR on VATSIM in a light aeroplane and you're going to fly from one to another, then there's a similar system in place, but they would also need to clear you using the radar controllers or approach controllers at the airport instead. So VFR generally is an absolute nuisance in the sim, in VATSIM for controllers. It's very difficult for me, I think, whenever I get VFRs requesting clearance and things, because there's a whole load of other procedures that go on in the background. And one of the biggest things as well is you could be in the circuit and VFR does not take priority. So you could be in the circuit flying on your little Cessna at Birmingham, for example. Matteo, thank you very much. We've got Milan approach online, and we've got ground as well. Awesome. So you might be downwind in the circuit on VATSIM, doing your little VFR thing. And then there's a whole load of aeroplanes, like we are today flying into Milan. There's a whole load of aeroplanes, for example, flying into Birmingham. What you then would get told to do if you're flying a VFR circuit is you're going to get told to just fly orbits. So they will tell you to fly a right-hand orbit until they tell you otherwise. And you just got to fly around in a circle until all the other IFR aeroplanes are in, because IFR takes priority. And then they will tell you to cancel the orbit and continue your circuit. So VFR can be quite tricky on VATSIM. Depends on where you are actually as well. Zorgmeister, yes, I'm using the Luke Air tool. I love it, it's brilliant. Rourke, Class C First Officer. Amazing. What's the app called again? For the announcements, you want the Luke Air tool. Daniel, exactly, yeah. Most of the time you'll only ever need the approach button, because everything's lined up quite nicely. As he's said in the live chat there. Creamhole, no, I don't use NeoFly actually. As Haz is saying though, in Boeing aircraft, you're supposed to go to lock mode first, pretty much all the time. So it does depend on what aeroplane you're in. The CRJ, for example, doesn't have a lock mode, it just has approach. Lock means localizer, Creamhole. Vuma, thanks for your clear, explaining and really excellent tutorials. My pleasure. I'm glad hopefully it helps people at least. John, thank you. IFR is a lot easier than VFR. A lot easier than VFR. A lot of people think that VFR is easy because you're just flying your own little local route. It is very complex to navigate, and
it'll keep you on your toes tomorrow. Enjoy today.
Thank you very much. I'm sure you will. Yeah, most VFRs, it can be quite tricky in VATSIM. IFR, if you want to get started, IFR is the way to go in VATSIM. Unless you just want to do VFR flights, then you've got to learn all the niche stuff around that. Abdul, I still can't get my custom wing views. I think it's something wrong with my keybinds. The first time I set the views in the number pad, but that was false, so I think I messed up. I can't pause it and show you because I'm live on VATSIM, but I have got a tutorial on the channel. Let me find the link to that, and it will show you exactly how to do it. And you've got to follow it step by step, otherwise you'll miss a step, which is when most people get the problems. But it does show you absolutely everything, start to finish, to show you how to get your custom views set up. Let me just find it. I've done one specifically for the CRJ.
This is becoming a VFR tutorial.
Mats, thank you very much. It is, isn't it? I've got the bug from yesterday. Really enjoyed that VFR group flight. Thanks for your tip. Where is... I'm just looking at the nav display as well, because I'm conscious that we are starting to get close. Here we go, get shareable link. There you are, in the live chat then. You can see a comment by me just after Mats's tip. And there's a link there, it will take you to a tutorial on how to set all of your custom views. And it will show you within that, there's about 30 seconds or so where I'll show you how to get your keybinds set up so that you can see roughly what you need. And you've got to bear in mind, if you're setting numbers 1 to 9, that's the top above the QWERTY. If you're using the numpad and you're using those numbers 1 to 9, it will say in the keybind numpad 1, numpad 2. I just use the numbers at the top of my QWERTY, just the normal 1, 2 and 3 above all the letters. Mats, yes. That's a good point. I'm not sure why, actually. I need to work that out. Maybe because it's the first in the list. But I noticed today my Fly UK livery came up as flybywire A320 British Outgeek. Which is bizarre. How far have we got? And what's great is we can look at the progress page. 91 miles to Udine. Let's get the fly pad on. And it should say A320 LEAP. Yes, that's a great point. Performance. Sync. We want 15,057 nautical miles. Jacob, yeah, if they're popular, we're going to try and do at least one, if not two, a month, where I'm on the ground at Birmingham. Osprey 315 Delta's on the way in. Nice. I'm going to see if I can find you one for Lanta, actually. Yes, there you are. Good grief, yeah, your route took you really far north, didn't it? Madness. Yeah, fly pad's on now, so you know that we're getting close to arriving. Outrange the VOR still, that's no problem. MC695. Let's see if it does this. Ooh, lovely. Oh, video, no. Sadly not. They are working on, well, they're still working on the VNAV, LNAV stuff at the moment. But it takes a lot because they're having to program the aeroplane to think where it's going to be in 5 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles and so on. So it's very complex. Not only the altitude but also the exact position at that moment in time in 5 minutes. They've got to be able to write a whole load of scripts and stuff that programs it to think and know exactly where it's going to be in X amount of time. So quite complicated really. And I know working title have already done it, but it works a little differently. Mats, oh no. At least you're in the chat. 88 miles to go to MC695. We have to be at or above 15,000 at that. We want 57 nautical miles there. What we can do is do this and go, I want 1,800 foot per minute. Oh, we need 76 nautical miles. And we're almost getting close to that actually as well, look. Yeah, as a video you're seeing there, VNAV calculations are exceptionally difficult, but they are working on it. Exo, if you have a variable wind, how do you put it into the approach page? That's a great question. Zach's Gaming Lab, hello, welcome. And Autonomical, what dev version am I on? I'm on a test branch for the flybywire team actually. Oh, John, nice. Get yourself down there. So technically my test branch is a version of the development version. So basically it's the development branch in its easiest thing. Primo, yes, I've got 3 or 4 stream moderators actually. So, performance. And I can't print out the printer because I'm on a bit that's broken the MCDU page. But it's not a released version, so don't worry. It's not going to break you guys, or for you guys. So, QNH 1014. Temperature 13 degrees. Mag wind 040 at 15. Bit of a crosswind again. Transition altitude 7,000. And baro or radio. That's going to be on our approach charts. Down the bottom here. I'm just going to start descent as well because we're pretty much at that point. So, Down we go. On the charts then at the very bottom, guys, we're looking at Cat 2 ILS. The sim will probably decide Cat 3A, but we'll do Cat 2 because I don't really know what to expect in the simulator these days. Category C aeroplane, DA 796. 796 is our Barrow, and our radio is 100. So Barrow is linked to our altitude with our local pressures and things. Rad, or radio, is our rad out, which is the little orange buttons at the bottom here, which is our exact distance to the ground below. Max, do you think it's still worth it to buy the Talis A321 or 19 for X-Plane, or just try to work with this thing? I don't have X-Plane, and I'm not yet at the stage where I feel like I need to buy another sim. I really enjoy Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let's get some icing on, shall we?
Ladies and gentlemen, you will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray tables must be stowed.
What's the transition altitude? 7,000.
Window blinds open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer.
Marts on RFS. Not used that myself. Make sure you click the like button down below, guys, if you're enjoying the stream today. And if you're new to the channel, very warm welcome. Please do subscribe as well while you're here. We're a channel that's pretty much linked. We're all about the community, so we do regular giveaways. Don't try X-Plane, you will never go back to MSFS. Yeah, you know what? I'm pretty much committed to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I know it has its problems, but I love it. I think it's fantastic. 53. Let's close that. Let's get that off. Progress page. 53. Look at that. Beautiful. So we've hit our top of descent perfectly. Andy, hello. Welcome to you. 1014, wasn't it? So the 7,000 with the ATIS information that I've got is from the ATIS. So the controllers have dictated that at 7,000 feet we transfer to local pressure. What I always like to do on the way down is get everything ready, because then when you do come to reach in transition, you don't have an incorrect QNH. Let's track that. We've got constraints on too. Let's bring the view in a little bit. And Adina's in 40 miles. Can you get the cleaners to wipe the nose candy off the missile? I wish. I'll ask when we get to Milan. Abdul, I hope they add a cabin soon. That'd be quite good, but it's always a balance, isn't it, between performance and loads of cool stuff. It is really bumpy. A little bit of wing flex. Look at that cloud layering. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator's live weather. That's incredible, look at that. So realistic. Vumit, yeah, this time next year it's going to be utterly incredible, isn't it? Let's switch 12675. No. Yeah, 12675. Milano radar, hello, Skyway 772, A320 Neo inbound Adina, descending through flight level 250, with information, Charlie on board.
Skyway 772 Milano, good afternoon, squawk 5410.
Squawk 5410, Skyway 772.
Skyways 772, radar contact, proceed direct Odina, descend level 220.
Proceed direct to Dina and descend flight level 220, Skyways 772.
Skyways 772, it's the Odina 2 Golf arrival for ILS Zulu, runway 35 left.
Adina 2 Golf arrival, ILS 35 left, ILS Zulu, Skyways 772. Brilliant, that's wiped my entire flight plan. Holy poop. Oh, I should have just left it knowing that we were fine. Bloody thing. Right, let's go heading mode because otherwise we're going to have a problem when we activate this.
Skyway 772, continue descent flight level 210.
Continue descent flight level 210, Skyway 772. Cream always.
Milano radar, Skyway 25 Papa Bravo.
Going into this pocket here.
Flight level 230.
Thank goodness we've got that back.
Skyways 75 Papa Bravo, Milano, good afternoon, squawk 5407.
Squawk 5407, Skyway 75 Papa Bravo.
XO, always. There's always something that absolutely blows us away in the sim. I'm going to have to watch the flight plan like a hawk now because it's going to bug out, I know it is. Ay ay ay.
Skyway 772, descend level 190.
Descend flight level 190, Skyway 772.
Skyway 75 Papa Bravo, radar contact, Odina 2 Golf arrival for ILS Zulu, runway 35 left.
Just making sure I've got the charts ready.
Expecting Odina 2 Golf arrival for
Odina 2 Golf. So transition just north of the airfield.
Skyway 75 Papa Bravo, correct, descend level 210.
Descend flight level 210, 75 Papa Bravo.
Let's bring that speed back. Flight level 1, we're at minus 1,200 foot per minute. And here we go, look at that. That's it's just mind-blowing, isn't it, how they've managed to create such an incredible bit of graphics in the sim. Like,
Milan radar, hello,
like
Ryanair 8 Lima Victor at Bergamo 10203, we have 8
down there, that
on
little
board,
pocket
request
of clear sky, that's incredible.
Ryanair 8 Lima Victor, Milano, good afternoon, we have no flight plan for you, try to resend it please.
Ryanair 8 Lima Victor.
Skyway 772, descend level 150.
Descend flight level 150, Skyway 772.
Skyway
Cheers, Mats.
75 Papa Bravo,
Yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the stream today,
190.
please do click like, and especially if you're new, do click subscribe as well. What a view, hey? David, it is, isn't it? It's quite incredible. Although we're back into the drink, let's get more icing on.
Ryanair 8 Lima Victor, thank you, advise ready to copy.
Ready to copy, go ahead.
Ryanair 8 Lima Victor, clear to Vienna, Oreo 5 Papa departure.
Let's have a look at some runway lengths, 35
transition,
left.
runway 28, initial climb 6,000 feet, squawk 1,000.
So we're going to do a configuration 3 landing.
Ryanair 8 Lima Victor is cleared to Vienna via the Ori 5 Papa departure and the Oscar 8 Tango transition.
So,
runway 28, initial climb is 6,000 feet.
Config 3 landings then. We need to activate the button here.
Ryanair 8 Lima Victor,
in the overhead
correct.
panel.
Information Alpha is current.
And in the performance page,
report ready.
for the approach selection,
8 Lima Victor.
we need to click this button here. It will change from full landing config to a
Highway
config 3.
772, descend level 130, no speed restriction.
Descend flight level 130, no speed restriction, Skyway 772.
Skyway 75 Papa Bravo, report speed.
Speed is 250 knots.
Yeah, the CBs look great, don't they? Now we're just completely in the
Skyway
thick of it.
75 Papa Bravo, maintain 250 knots and continue descent flight level 170.
Maintain 250 descend 150, Skyway 75 Papa Bravo.
Skyway 75 Papa Bravo, negative level 170.
170, 75 Papa Bravo.
Reese, how do I know what configuration to choose? That's a great question. So, let me show you guys Navgraph. There we go. So, this is our star. There's our approach ILS Zulu, but what we'll want to look at now is our airport charts, and we can see that the runway is 4,000 meters long, 3,902 meters long. Look at that. That's incredible. And you can see that at touchdown we're going to pass Foxtrot most likely, but we could probably reach Foxtrot if we were config full flaps, but if not, we've got to go all the way down to Lima, which is a high speed exit. So if we're going to target Lima, we've got all of this distance to travel here, and if we land with full landing configuration, what will happen is just reset my charts. We'll end up slowing down too quickly. We'll end up slowing down way too fast, and it could cause issues if it's particularly busy down behind as well with other aeroplanes. Landing config 3 allows us to land at a quicker speed.
Skyway 772, continue descent flight level 110.
Continue descent flight level 110, Skyway 772.
Skyway 75 Papa Bravo, continue descent flight level 140.
When would be the time to set flap fleet on the upper head panel? I've already done it.
140,
So there, and then I've selected it in the MCDU.
6842,
and we've got the ECAM mode, GPWS flap 3 there.
level 190, direct Odina.
What's brake low? Yeah, maximum use of the runway basically. So maximum runway efficiency for the airport. So if you're landing flaps 3, places like Heathrow, for example, would be incredibly good. Can you say Contoloyo?
Ryanair 6824, you show squawking.
I don't know what it means, but I'll trust that it means I'm handsome.
Confirm 5411.
So Heathrow, for example, would be a really good, probably a very good example of landing config flaps 3. Because when you touch down, you've got quite a distance to go before the high-speed exits. So you want to carry that speed up to that point. And it then allows air traffic control to fit more aeroplanes in.
772, continue descent flight level 70, transition level.
Continue descent flight level 70, transition Skyway 772.
Skyway 75 Papa Bravo, descent level 120.
Descent 120, Skyway 75 Papa Bravo.
Watching the aeroplane like a hawk in case it decides suddenly to go direct to the airport.
Milan, Italia 156 at Linate Airport.
And we've still got the silly icing.
Frankfurt QNH 1014.
Great.
Station calling Milano for the call sign.
Alitalia, sorry, 9
Prepare for a wet runway, thank you very much, Doctor on board.
Alitalia 9 Alpha Echo Milano,
doing all the weather checks
cleared
today.
to Frankfurt, NICMO 6 Alpha departure, Abesi 7 Bravo transition, runway 36, 6,000 feet initially and squawk 1,000.
At Abesi 6 Bravo transition,
Doctor on board, thank you.
Initial climb 6,000, squawk 1,000, departure I didn't copy, Alitalia 9 Alpha Echo.
Alitalia 9 Alpha
So when I need to land in Keflavik on runway 10, that is 3,000 metres long,
India Kilo,
and I need to go off the runway at the end, that would be a good example to use flaps 3. Yeah, definitely, that's a perfect example actually.
Alitalia 9 Alpha Echo.
Alitalia 9 Alpha Echo, correct, QNH in Linate 1014, report ready.
We've got all the new textures and new lights.
Skyways 75 Papa Bravo, continue descent, flight level 80.
Flight level 80, Skyways 75 Papa Bravo.
What we got? That's looking good. We want to tune in LIMC ground 1219. Sam is the best. Am I flying dev or experimental? Always the development version. I'm a QA tester for fly-by-wire, but I'm also loosely on their development team, so I... oh, 1119. We've got tower on as well, lovely. So I'm always flying test branches, basically, and in doing so, they're all linked to the development version. But you know, my promise to them when I became a QA tester was that I was, yeah, I'm committed to the project. So whenever I fly in the fly-by-wire A320, 99% of the time I'm always on the test branch.
772, continue descent to 4,000 feet, QNH 1014, transition level 70.
Continue descent 4,000 feet and QNH 1014, Skyway 772. QNH. And let's see what we've got here, max 230 for the next one.
3528 Milan.
Then we've got another speed restriction of 220 coming up.
3528 Milan, you are unreadable.
Yeah, it all depends where the exit to the runway is going to be. So if you're looking at the charts and you can see that actually you've got quite a distance before where you're roughly going to touch down to where you're going to exit the runway.
Skyway 772 after Mike Charlie 761, proceed direct inlet.
After Mike Charlie 761, proceed direct inlet, Skyway 772. So we're cutting out all of this basically.
3528, thanks, you are 4x5 now, squawk 1000.
Cap Baldy, exactly. Yeah, you know what, I would love to fly the experimental branch more, but if I fly that, it means that there's no testing being done on my side, so it slows the project down.
Skyway 75 Papa Bravo, continue descent 6,000 feet, QNH 1014, transition level 70.
Let's do minus 1,200, water brake on low, spoilers armed, we want performance page, activate approach, confirm. I'm just throwing it right out there, hasn't it?
Skyway 75 Papa Bravo, reduce speed to 220 knots.
220 knots, Skyway 75 Papa Bravo.
Having all sorts of problems today.
Runner 6824, report
coming
speed.
through all cool. You've got to remember you've got your landing flaps 3 as well.
6824, Roger, maintain speed 300 knots.
Maintain 300 knots, runner 6824.
LS.
Osprey 528, radar contact, clear Dodina to Golf arrival for ILS Zulu, runway 35 left.
Just about see the ground down below.
Maintain flight level 150 and reduce speed to 290 knots.
You end up spending a lot of time with one ear listening out for your, especially when you're streaming like I am. I spend most of the time with one ear open listening out for my call sign. Sometimes I miss it. Let's go to 10 miles. Mike Charlie 761 is there. He's then clears direct to inlet, so I've taken over from the nav. We're then going to fly around to inlet.
Skyway 75 Papa Bravo, descend 5,000 feet, speed 190 knots.
5,000 feet, 190 knots, Skyway 75 Papa Bravo.
6824, continue
if you're tuning in for the very first time, please do click subscribe down below, and if you want to get started on VATSIM, join us tomorrow. I'm going to be the Birmingham ground controller.
528 to descend level 120.
So if you want to do a first flight, get used to the network with very little pressure. Tomorrow we're going to do a bit of a new person's day on VATSIM to help people get started, so do join us for that. We'll be live streaming it for about 2 to 3 hours, and got a couple of guys across the community within the channel
continue descent, flight level 120.
helping and connecting as well. So we're going to have a clearance delivery controller, David helping us with that, and possibly a tower controller as well, and they'll all be aware that a lot of you guys joining us tomorrow might be connecting for the first time, so we'll all be very patient.
Flight level 20, descending flight level 150.
Here comes the rain.
1315
1300 British summertime, so 1200 UTC. is the stream start time tomorrow.
Squawk 1000 for Osprey 315 Delta.
The FMS is terrible.
3315 Delta, radar contact, report your inbound point.
Let's go.
Inbound Adina, 25 nautical miles away.
Start to slow down.
315 Delta.
Osprey 315 Delta, roger, clear Dodina to Golf arrival for ILS Zulu, runway 35 left.
Cleared Adina 2 Golf arrival for ILS Zulu, runway 35 left for Osprey 315 Delta.
Let's do 290, that should take us to Inler. Roundabout.
Skyway 772 via Inler, cleared ILS Zulu approach, runway 35 left, report established.
VAR Inler, cleared for the ILS Zulu, runway 35 left approach, and report when established, Skyway 772. Let's hit that.
Osprey 315 Delta, descend level 180.
Descend flight level 180, Osprey 315 Delta.
Yeah, we've had a lot of problems with the MCDU on the way in.
After Mike Charlie 756, proceed direct Inler.
Tom C, nice. Good route choice, Birmingham to Innsbruck, fantastic.
After Mike Charlie 756, proceed direct Inler.
So,
Papa Bravo.
Turning to intercept the
Charlie
ILS.
75 Papa Bravo, continue descent 4,000 feet.
And it is a miserable day.
Papa Bravo.
Let's go.
3528, continue descent flight level 100.
Flaps 1.
Liner 6824, no speed restriction, descend level 70.
Cream hold, the first ATC roll is clearance delivery. So they're going to help you get all of your clearance for the route and everything, make sure your route's correct, and then when you're about to push back, they're going to hand everybody over to me as the ground controller, and I'll do all the taxi clearance and everything else. And if they prove popular, the last one was very, very popular actually. It turned into quite a big event very suddenly, which is great. That's Skyway 772, 12 miles established, 35 left.
Skyway 772, roger, 12 miles correct, and number 1, contact tower 119.0. Ciao.
Contact tower 119.0, and thank you very much, ciao. Skyway 772. Malpensa Tower, hello, Skyway 772, Airbus A320 Neo, established on the ILS runway 35 left. Information Charlie.
Skyway 772, good afternoon, Malpensa Tower, 35 left, clear to land, wind is 030 at 19.
Cleared land 35 left, Skyway 772, and ground 1219. And remember, we're on a flaps 3 configuration landing. So we only have one more flap setting left. We're about 8 miles now. Yeah, we're using Navigraph beta stuff today, get it down. And it works very well, but it's all a bit of a mess. Somebody was asking how to apply for ATC with VATSIM. So VATSIM UK, you can join a waiting list, and I kid you not, it was 6 months before I got to do the first seminar, and then it was about another month or 2 as I committed. That's the rad out. Got cabin ready memo, and finally 2,000 foot almost on the rad out. When we hit that, we will go to flaps 3, because we're doing a flaps 3 config landing. We've got our missed approach altitude set. There we are. That's our landing memos, and we've selected flaps 3, and we've got config flap 3 that's just gone green as well. So we've got ECAM memos, no blue, cabin's ready, and the gears downward 3 green. Question is, we're at 4.8 miles, 4.7 miles. When do we see the airport? There's the outer marker. For a missed approach in this, it would be a fly runway heading till 1,450 feet, and then we turn left, and we have to intercept a radial from the Malpensa VOR. Yeah, doctor on board, I know. It's bizarre, isn't it? This is definitely not what all the night is about. There's some ground. Am I recording on replay? I'm not actually today, no. 700. 500 foot before we have to think about going around. There's the approach lights, good stuff, continue.
500.
So, I have control. So I'm flying this manually now.
400.
2 red, 2 white on the Pappies.
300.
Wee. Little surge of the engines there.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
There we are. One thing I really hate with the simulator is how it makes you steer into wind quite significantly. And we're going to take over manual braking. I'm having to use quite a lot of left rudder still. And we're down. Welcome to Milan. So you can see here the flaps 3 config has been perfect. BBC Weather says it's chucking it down in Milan right now. Awesome, so that means weather is accurate.
And Skyway 772, welcome you, Malpensa, vacate to enable on the left.
Roger, thank you, vacating at Lima, Skyway 772.
Skyway 772, thank you. Contact ground 121.9, ciao.
Ground on 121.9, Skyway 772, ciao. Commentator, hey, welcome. Awesome. Silver Frequent Flyer for the butter. Thank you. Malpensa ground, hello, Skyway 772. Vacated at Lima, request taxi to the gates.
Skyway 772, Malpensa ground, good afternoon to you, sir. Stand 412 via Papa Yankee Romeo.
Stand 412 via Papa Yankee Romeo, Skyway 772. There we are, hopefully you guys enjoyed that landing. Where's the parking stands? We want 412. Papa is dead ahead. Let's get strobes off, landing lights off. Turn that off now, APU's available. Yeah, what a miserable day. A couple of aeroplanes on the ground there as well, which is good. So we've got Papa, which is this one. Yeah, it was alright. I'll have a look at Volanta in a minute. There's stand 412, good stuff, I can see that on the charts.
ground, speed purple 1
That's
Papa,
Kilo.
radio check.
People 1-1 Papa on business ground, hello, radio 5x5.
There's, ooh, that might be a go around. They're very close to each other there. Second aeroplane. Doctor on board. Yeah. I quite like a bit of a challenge though. Makes it fun. And yeah, I'm quite happy to fly into stuff like this and still fly the last bit manually. Is that an A320neo? It is indeed. Tantax, hello. How are your taxiway markers so big? I'm not sure. This is the Asobo stuff.
Ground speed purple 1 Papa requesting clearance to Kestrup.
This is Yankee.
Delta on board.
Speed 1-1 Papa, information Delta is correct.
So we're going to continue here and then we're going into this cul-de-sac. 412 is in here.
Updating 9 Quebec transition, runway news 35 right, initial
Looks like
climb
they might have separated
4,000
enough
feet, squawk
there actually.
5456.
So there's 2 of the guys flying in. I just use, as commentators asking there, do I still use Unreal Weather? No, not anymore. I haven't used it for about 2 or 3 months now. Or maybe not that long, maybe about 1.5 months. I'm always just using Microsoft Flight Simulator Live Weather now, and I find it very, very good. There's somebody went on to BBC Weather and got the weather report for Milan, said it was raining heavily.
Clear, it was
it certainly is.
Romeo November 5 Mike departure.
That's correct.
That's what the guy's about to
Novio,
touch down.
5 Mike and a base 9 Quebec transition.
Okay, clear to my destination via with the
It wouldn't
Sierra
surprise me if
5
there was
Mike,
a slight delay on the weather. Doctor on
and
board.
LCC and Quebec transition. My initial
So,
climb is
counting the
4,000
stands.
feet, and my squawk is
Angled one there,
5456,
409.
level 1 Papa.
This one here is 499,
Just confirm runway
410,
35 right.
410, and then 412 this jetty here.
People 1-1 Papa Rebecca, correct.
APU's on. Let's get the nose lights and stuff off. Probably put the wipers on as well. And you know what? I found something, thanks to Aerosoft actually. They've basically not ratted on Asobo, but they've explained that the way Asobo have configured the rain, and the reason why the wipers don't do anything is because the rain lands on the inside pane of the window, bizarrely.
75 Papa Bravo, Malpins ground, good afternoon to you. Taxi stand 410 via Papa Yankee Romeo.
And also, it makes it very sticky. Cool, yeah, that's sad. Was there rain earlier? Because if that's the case, it'd be quite interesting. It makes it very sticky on the ground in the sim, though, that's the problem. Doctor on board there saying that auto land is more nerve-wracking than landing manually. I guess so, yeah, you're leaving it in the hands of a machine, but a machine that is highly well calibrated and designed for that. So auto land, I'd quite happily just turn that on and leave it. You'd still have your hand on the controls just in case. Great livery for a virtual airline. My OCD, I like to try and get it on the line. Parking brake on. Let's get rid of that.
Milano ground, good afternoon, Easy 955, information Delta 1053, aircraft type A320, requesting clearance to Gatwick.
Post-flight on blocks. That's the
Easy
Skytrack thing for Fly
955,
UK.
hello to you, sir. Information
2
that
hours
is
6
current.
added
You're
to
clear
my
to get
career.
to Doggo 5
Good
Tango
stuff.
departure.
I
Alpha
would get
8
that
whiskey
beacon light on.
transition. Runway
Seatbelt
news
signs.
35 right. Initial climb 5,000 feet.
Wipers.
Squawk 5432.
And I think what we can do is use the Pushback Express tool. I'm just going to position this about around a little bit more to try and catch the other guys flying in, taxiing in.
Via Dogwood 5 Tango transition AOSA, initial flying 5,000 feet.
Interestingly.
There we go,
that's a bit better.
5443.
Bags, please.
Easy 955.
Easy 955, the squawk is
catering.
5432.
Squawk 5432.
Just confirm runway news 35 right.
So they're all rolling.
And runway 35 right, easy 955.
Easy 955, Rebecca Road.
And I like to let everybody else land as well, so there's one of the guys taxiing in too. While we're waiting and everything's getting connected up, what we'll do is we'll have a little look on Volanta, so we can see what my... Reese, awesome! That's very kind of you, thank you very much. Really nice of you to tip. Let's bring up Volanta, and we can see our landing rates. We can see if anybody else is inbound as well, actually. There's two here. So, Osprey 528, one of our community call signs, and Skyways 315.
Ryanair 6824,
Ryanair.
ground, good afternoon.
So, flights.
East and
Skyways 772.
309 via
That's not too
Romeo
bad, is it?
Kilo November.
Minus 162 foot per minute, 119 knots.
309 via
The
Romeo
G's a bit
Kilo
hard,
November,
though, but
Ryanair 6824.
I don't always trust the figures that we get through Volanta or any of the other stuff that gives us foot per minute. There's one of the Ryanair aeroplanes taxiing in. Riso, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your tip. And I can't see anybody else. What I might do, no pressure, whoever that is, let's go and watch their touchdown. Is he? He's on 35 right. He is. Let's change runway. Yeah, definitely lined up on 35 right. Oops. So those of you tuning in for the very first time, what I like to do on this channel at least is everybody else that's flown along, I like to wait for them to land as well. So we've got two more to come in. Fairly close. But we all took off together, one after each other, and we flew together, so it's nice to all wait for each other as well. Commentary, I'm thinking of taking an introductory flying lesson soon. Simming has really made me want to try it for real. Go for it. Nothing better than real life, and actually the simulator helps you quite significantly with understanding at the very least the basics of flight. Here's one of our channel call signs and liveries, Osprey, for those of you who might want to use it. Coming in a little bit of a low vis landing there.
Ground, good afternoon. Skylink 205, stand 502. Request clearance for Palma de Mallorca.
Skylink 205, good afternoon, sir. Information Delta is currently clear to Palma de Mallorca. Doggo 5 Tango departure. Netted 5 India transition. Runway news 35 right. Initial climb 5,000 feet. Squawk 5404.
If you want to get your hands on the channel livery, by the way, guys, head to our Discord server and you can download. This is the frequent flyer one with two blue first officer stripes down the engine cowlings and the Osprey on the front as well by the door. So our call sign is Osprey.
Information Delta on board. Seed Dog.
As Paul's saying there, guys, if you've enjoyed today's stream, please do click the like button as well. And we've got our final flight coming in, I think. This is the last
Runway
aeroplane.
35 right.
Sounds like looks like he's coming on 35 right as well.
Squawk 4504, spelling 205.
Hey Paul, thank you.
Oh,
nice.
Lovely weather.
Landed 5
Guess who
India
forgot to
transition
start his
and
Skytrack
squawk is
disappointed.
5404.
Let's see if we can, let's use unreal weather for the first time in a long time. Let's compare the difference, shall we?
Squawk 5404, Dogub 5 Tango.
Oh, that is
scaling 205.
very different.
And just confirm netted 5 India transition.
Paul Brown, thank you very much for your tip. That's sad times. You forgot to start your Skytrack. It's never good, is it? Where's the aeroplane gone? I've positioned in between both runways here, so
transition
out for
India, scaling 205.
Netted 5 India transition.
Weird how the weather is so different. The live weather looked fantastic though, not gonna lie. Make sure you click like while you're here, guys. And we're waiting on, I think, the last flight of the day to touch down, I believe.
Netted 5 India, scaling 205, thanks.
Scaling 205, read back correct.
Where is he?
Papa requesting pushback and start.
It's on the Fly UK checklist as well. Were you using the Fly UK checklist?
Speedbird 11 Papa pushback and start approved QNH 1014 face out.
Is it me?
Person start approved.
No, we don't want simbrief, we want, what do I use
4
normally, simaware.
and facing south, Speedbird 11 Papa.
Can't see if that plane's still on finals. I've got Skyways 315, no, Osprey 315 Delta on the way in. Yeah, and Osprey 528 just landed, so yeah, all good. The last one to come in. Reading the BBC again, it says light rain showers. Interestingly. So we had heavy rain on live weather and clear skies on unreal weather. There he is, there's our Osprey dude with the channel livery. Not sure where he's going. He's obviously got a different scenery to us. Flight arriving on the correct runway, 35 left. We'll say the correct runway. Yeah, the one that we landed on. Russell. That's a little bit, you're a little bit too far away, I'm afraid. If ever you guys want to fly along as well when we're flying and streaming, we're always on the VATSIM network. You're all very welcome to join us. If you're comfortable with the aeroplane that you're using and you're comfortable on VATSIM and stuff like that, then always feel free to log in and join us as well. 4 odd hours to Class B captain for David, nice.
We're ready for a push and start.
I've had a little bit of time actually as a Class A captain, but I've been doing a lot of Fly UK tutorials
955 push
and I can't record those hours.
QNH 1014 face east.
John, hello. Yes, this is MSFS.
And facing east is the 955.
And it's one of our final Osprey flights for the day. When it says outer tank fuel transferred, do I need to turn on the crossfeed button? No. All that means is that your inner tanks have got a little bit too low. And once it reaches a certain limit, what it then does is it then automatically converts. Milan's got quite busy. It automatically drains the outer tanks, basically. There we are. Snap back to the aeroplane. Makes Milan default look pretty naff, doesn't it? It's not too bad for a default airport, though, I guess. There's our final aeroplane taxiing in, and he's had to hold short there as well. So we're all down, and slowly but surely parking up as well.
People on top ready for taxi.
Thanks as always for those of you who have tuned in, hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. Give us a like if you have. If you're new to the channel, do click subscribe as well.
Uniform.
If you want to join a virtual airline, check out flyuk.aero. Fantastic, it's free to join and you get some discounts with things like FS2 Crew and some other companies as well, so very worthwhile looking into. You've got to do 1 flight a month with a virtual airline for it to count. If you want our channel liveries that you can see in the 2 aeroplanes over there, then head to our Discord server. You can download them all free from there with a Google Drive link. And tomorrow, for those of you who want to get thrown into VATSIM, join us for our stream tomorrow where we're going to be landing. We're going to be feet firmly on the ground actually for 2 to 3 hours at Birmingham on the sim. So if you want to get used to VATSIM, maybe do your first ever flight, then head along to Birmingham Airport, connect to VATSIM, and I'll be your ground controller. So hopefully you've enjoyed today. Hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow as well, and that's going to be quite an enjoyable stream. Commentator, welcome to the channel as a new member. Thank you. And thanks as well, of course, to John, Matt, Reese and Paul for all of your tips and donations in supporting the stream. It's very much appreciated. Make sure you hit subscribe, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Scaling 205, request pushback and engine start.
205, push and start the crew phase 6, H1014.
Pushback approve phase east QNH 1014, scaling 205.
3528, follow company traffic on Papa, taxi to stand 405 via Papa and Yankee.